Welcome to another edition of R1videos.com. We are changing the oil on a 2004 Yamaha R1 now. I'm going to put some AMSOIL full synthetic motor oil in this guy. Specially formulated for motorcycle. Got our JASO MA ratings here. You don't want to put any oil in your R1 that doesn't have a JASO MA rating. Car oils, don't cut it, don't do it. Also going to be installing a Flow stainless steel reusable oil filter. Never have to buy another oil filter, and this guy flows better than the paper filter the bike comes with. So we'll be installing that today as well. We're going to start popping off the lower fairing. We're going to take off Zeus fastener here, here, here at the rear, and then one right here at the front for this side. And then this guy right down here is an actual screw that comes out. We're going to pop these off with just a quick little quarter turn. That loosens them up. Get right here at the front. Kind of hidden back there a little bit. Not too hard to get to. This guy at the rear. And we're going to pull this one out right here. Kind of give everything a little shake, make sure it's off. The other side, we're going to be doing the same. Zeus fastener here, here, here at the front, right there. One at the rear, and then an actual screw here at the bottom. There's no particular order. I've quarter turned all the Zeus fasteners, given everything a little bit of a wiggle to make sure it's going to come apart. I'm taking out the last screw down here, spin this guy out. This should just drop right down to the ground. And then you can see why that towel is here. Can roll it forward, slide that through. Alright, you're going to need a 17mm open-end box-end wrench to get your oil drain plug out of there. It is this guy right up here. There. Little crank. Spin that out. This is a real good time to go get a beer or make a sandwich, whatever you want to do.
Have your chick make a sandwich.
Have your chick make a sandwich. You don't want to rush this. Let as much oil come out of that bike as you can. While that's draining, we're also going to pull the oil filter, which is right here behind this water line. I don't have a proper oil filter wrench, which you can buy at any motorcycle shop for about 15 bucks. They're kind of hard to get in here, especially with a socket driver on it, so I use old blue channel locks. These work great. Just kind of get up in here behind the pipe or on top of it, give it just a little bit of a nudge to break it loose, and then you can just get it loose by hand. Spin it off by hand, and then again we're just going to let the oil drain. It takes more than 10 minutes for all the oil to come out of your bike. Also, this bike was run recently but has been sitting for probably 15 or 20 minutes, so it's cool enough now that we can touch all this up in here. You definitely don't want to do this when the engine's hot or the exhaust is hot. You're going to burn yourself and get some really cool scars. So just let the bike cool down a little bit before you change the oil. So you can see the drain has slowed down considerably here. With the bike on the stand in the upright position, I'm going to put the kickstand down and take the bike off of the stand and let the rest of the oil drain out. Most shops are going to keep your bike in a straight up and down position when they change the oil, so everything you just saw come out of there is still in your engine when they pour clean oil on top of it. So doing it yourself will save you some money, plus you know all your old oil is out of your bike. Okay, so this is the stock drain plug that came out of there, and the crush washer that's on it, which is just a little aluminum that you really should replace every time you do an oil change. A little aluminum crush washer, costs about $1.50. Don't be cheap and not replace that. You will regret it. So this is your stock drain plug. We're going to reinstall a drain plug with a magnet on it. This little magnet will catch any metal particles that get down into the oil pan before they get sucked up. These retail anywhere from about $9.99 to $24.99, depending on if it's titanium, aluminum, or steel. You can find them at any reputable bike shop. We are going to put a aluminum crush washer on there. A little more longevity to this one than to the old one. You can reuse this 4 or 5 times, whereas the old style you couldn't reuse it. It was a one-time use. Still, eventually we'll have to replace this. This one you have to replace every time. Okay, so real quick, we're going to wipe off our surfaces here and reinstall our drain plug and our crush washer right here. All right, we are torquing our drain plug bolt down to 31 foot-pounds. We're going to clean the surface where your oil filter mates to your engine. Just get a little wipe down in there. Make sure it's nice and clean before we put the new filter on. Take a little bit of that oil and smear it on the seal. Spin that bad boy on there. We've got the oil filter on. You spin it on about hand tight, whatever it takes to get in there, and just give a good crank. You don't want to tighten that with any type of wrench. Just hand tight as you can get it, and that'll suffice. We're ready to put oil back in this bike, almost ready to start it up. You have all the tools you need to change the oil in your toolkit under the seat, but toolkits are for when you're broke down on the side of the road and you don't have anything else to use. We're going to use our open-end box-end wrench, slide it right in here, just give it a little twist. All right, so basically you're going to put in about 3 quarts and then start watching the window. Normally it'll take about 3.3 to 3.5 quarts of oil. But I'll usually do about 3 and then just check that window. So right now, we're at about halfway. I'm going to overfill it a little bit because when we start and run this engine, it's going to distribute the oil through the engine and bring that level down. So we're going to take it from here and put it just to the top of the window. We're going to loosely put the cap back on and run the bike for a couple of minutes, and then check the oil level again. Also, while you're running the bike on the stand, look for any oil leaks at your drain plug or your oil filter. We're about 129 degrees right now. When it reaches about 150, we'll shut it down and check the oil level again. We got no oil in the window. All the oil was at the bottom of the engine. We drained it all out. Now all that has been redistributed through the engine, you know, in the filter, in the lines, the top of the head. So yeah, we're just going to top it off. Alright, so we've taken the bike off the stand. It is now on the side stand. You want to check the oil with the front and the rear wheels on the ground. Can't really get an accurate oil reading with it on the stand, so we put it on the ground and then stand the bike straight up. And we're right at the top mark, right where we want to be. We're going to put the cap on, reinstall the fairings, and go ride or drink beer. Kind of take and wiggle that out. I'm going to do the top up here first. And that's just a little Zeus fastener with a quarter turn. And I'll do back here next. And then we'll get here, here, and at the front. And this will be the screw that goes in the bottom. locked in. There's a tab right here where the fairing and the lower fairing meet behind the outer. Just make sure those tabs are lined up. Realign that right there. Secure the top, and then do the rear, the two at the front, the one at the front of the fairing, and the screw over here. Alright, so today we changed the oil in our 2004 Yamaha R1. We installed a Flow stainless steel reusable oil filter and also a magnetic drain plug in there. We went with a full synthetic motor oil, motorcycle specific, with the JASO MA rating, and topped it off, tightened everything up, buttoned it back together. We're ready to go ride. Thanks for joining us at r1videos.com.